Hey guys, Surf here. I want to show you another one of my firearms. I don't really care about the numerical value for this gun since it has such a great deal of sentimental value to me. This is my Colt single action buntline Scout chambered in .22 Magnum. The reason it holds such a great deal of sentimental value to me, this was one of the first firearms, or it was the first firearm that I ever shot. It was a gift from my grandfather to my father, and since then has now been left to me. As a kid, I was always very curious and interested in firearms. Whenever I saw them on TV, I just, for lack of better words, liked them. I thought they were neat. My parents saw this, and my father decided at the time, rather not to get rid of his guns and treat them as this evil object, he decided to teach me about them. And this was in the 1990s when I think it was Clinton was in office, and he had the assault weapons ban, and guns probably had a worse name for them back then than they do now. I think personally it's probably becoming a little bit better. So at the time, this gun probably hadn't been fired in about 20 years. Most of the time it spent in storage up in a box in our attic. So we took it out together, and first thing, he decided to bring it to a gunsmith and just have it checked over, make sure that it was even still capable of being fired. Once the gunsmith had given the go-ahead, the green light, we took it very slow, very slow. First thing he let me do was just hold the gun, hold the firearm. At that point, I never even held a gun before in my life. And he taught me some very basic things. Finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. Always act as if the gun is loaded, even if you know for a fact it's not unloaded. Always keep it pointed in a safe direction. He pretty much followed the NRA guideline to safety. From there, once I even learned the basic handling of it, he didn't let me fire it. The next thing was cleaning. He taught me how to clean it, and we spent about two and a half weeks just learning how to clean the firearm until I was very, very comfortable cleaning it. He showed me always check to make sure the gun's unloaded, how to wipe the firearm down. Even if you just hold it, he would always tell me just to wipe it down because the oils in your finger can corrode the finish. We eventually did move on to getting to fire it. My first time, I would say about 50% excited, 50% nervous, somewhere in that ballpark. It was just me and him, and we went to a range, a local range, and we had the place to ourselves. It was completely empty, and from that first pull of that trigger, I instantly realized, even at that young age that I was, that these weren't toys. It probably helped me mature about 5 years in that one day. My father would always tell me stories of him and his friends riding their bikes to the local dump for some live target practice. That live target would be rats at that time, of course, and they always had the dump's permission to be there. And it's unfortunate, but we don't live in that age anymore. Guns still do have a bad name for themselves, and even myself, who is very, very pro-Second Amendment, would feel uncomfortable with that image of two kids riding their bikes, one with a rifle, the other one with a .22 Magnum, or any handgun, strapped to them. Let me give you a little bit of history on this gun. This is, like I said before, it's a Colt single-action buntline Scout. It's chambered in .22 Magnum. The blunt lines are listed under the Colt Frontier Scout models. They were manufactured from 1957 to 1970. It came in .22 long rifle or .22 Magnum, which was first introduced in 1960, the Magnum. They're just shy of 2 pounds. They weigh, I think it was 1 pound and 14 ounces. Mine came in the 9.5-inch barrel. I know they made other barrel sizes too. I'm not sure how many. One of the sources that I got said only one other barrel size, where another source said they had multiple barrel sizes. This firearm, I was able to look up with the serial number, was manufactured in 1960, so this was the first year that Colt made the Magnum. I think it was 1964 they introduced one that had interchangeable capabilities of switching from 22 long rifle to 22 magnum, which would be really neat, but at this point I don't even fire the gun. It stays stored and cleaned in a gun safe, so that doesn't really matter to me anymore. Overall, the gun's in great condition. If it has a great feel to it. It hasn't been fired in probably about 6 or 7 years, but I wouldn't see why it wouldn't be able to be fired. There is a slight bit of wearing down here towards the tip. Let me see if I can get that on camera. It's going to be kind of hard, where the bluing has worn off. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Maybe you will. Other than that, a couple scratches here and there, but it's in great condition. Maybe one day I'll send it out to Colt and have it refinished and really have that bluing shine correctly. But I wanted to show it to you. I couldn't find anything on YouTube on this handgun, so I wanted to do my part and help produce a little as well, so you guys can see what in my opinion is a little piece of history. Alright guys, take care.